Hi, my name is Lloyd Hanley, and I am a outstanding student at Mercer County College. By looking at me, you would never guess that I'm a 33-year-old that does not know how to cook. However, that is the problem. Last year, in a very short amount of time, I put on over 60 pounds of unhealthy weight because I was always eating out fast food or late night bar food after work because everything else was closed, and would find myself overeating because it tasted so good. Due to extenuating circumstances, I moved out of my house during my freshman year of high school and never learned how to cook for my family. During high school, I was always eating cafeteria food, which then continued on during my time in the Army while eating at the provided dining facility. When I was not eating that, it was much easier to just do TV dinners, Hot Pockets, or instant noodles, or eat out instead of just taking the time to learn how to cook. I am so glad that I spent so much time practicing for standardized testing in school and having that crammed down my throat for so many years, because it sure isn't helping me with the rest of my life after completing school. Some might see No Child Left Behind as a success, but the fact I, as well as many others, were not prepared for the real world day-to-day tasks and cooking for ourselves and other basic tasks, I say to you that home economics needs to be brought back into our schools for a minimum graduation requirement. When one mentions home economics classes in high school, many often think about a 1950s throwback like you would see in all movies. However, it is very much relevant today in our developed society. It is not your typical Susie homemaker, stay-at-home future wife that tends to be a stereotype, stigma of home economics from the past. We can see that today. It is very important in this pandemic because some people who may have gone to their families' houses for meals can no longer, as we are social distancing. Also, with many restaurants closed, we are limited to delivery and our options are greatly reduced, which compounds it for people who are also not working, so the costs are greater, and I will get it further into this. Ellen H. Richards was the first woman to get a degree from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, better known to us as, commonly known as MIT. She led the development of home economics in the 1890s. She wanted to see more women enter academic fields, and she theorized that if women could make their homes run efficiently, they'd have more time to pursue academics. So let's move that now to 2020. Any student or young professional could benefit from this and effectively streamlining and making their lives more efficient. Compared to the teens of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, today's teens, however, are taking longer to engage in both the pleasures and responsibilities of adulthood, as stated by Gene Twenge, who's the professor of psychology at San Diego State and published a paper in 2006 in the Journal of Child Development. She also goes on to say, the whole development pathways has slowed down, she said, with today's 18-year-olds living more like 15-year-olds once did. The study relies on 7 nationally representative surveys repeated with 8 million teens ages 13 to 19 over several decades. It documents and combines several trends often explained as separate phenomena. The trends all point in the same direction, a slowing of teen development that matches a well-documented slowing of young adult development. While people in their early 20s now often act more like teens, young teens often act more like children. So why is it good for us to know how to cook? First off, it's healthier, or at least has the potential to be healthier. When you or I are the chef, you have the opportunity to use fresher products and substitute ingredients as you see fit, potentially slashing hundreds of calories or also preventing food allergies. Next, it's cheaper. Takeout is so convenient, but the $20 you spent one night on takeout could honestly buy you a couple dinners worth of groceries with more than enough leftovers to take for lunch the following day. Learn to cook and open up our budgets for better things like clothes, a retirement account, investing in our future, not having student loans and debt. It's worth it by saving money. Also, it allows us to become independent. Even if we don't become a professional chef or a food blogger, cooking at its core is one of the most basic survival skills. You should probably learn the basics. When we no longer need to rely on the delivery boy, we can load up our cabinets and be self-sufficient, whether it's a natural disaster or whatever it may be. So in conclusion, as I've stated, I firmly believe that home economics should be stated for many reasons, but I say most importantly is so that we can be self-sufficient and not rely on others for our basic survival needs. I hope that you were able to learn something from this and you're more informed about why this is more important sometimes than general standardized testing.